Yeah, hi. So, today we are going to learn a new story. Okay, the new chapter 2.3. So, the name of the chapter is Connecting the Dots. So, I think so from this image, majority of the people are know about him. Like wherever you listen the name Steve Jobs, the first thing comes in our mind, Apple, Apple mobile phone, right? So Steve Jobs was lived 1955 to 2011, and he was an American entrepreneur, business magnate, inventor, and industrial designer. And he was the chairman and CEO and co-founder of Apple Inc. And he is widely recognized as one of the pioneers of the microcomputer revolution of the 1970s and 80s. And he admitted the revolution of the microcomputer, right? So, we are going to learn about him. So specifically, 2011 he died, and after that there are so many mobile phones now. We are seeing it is not made by him; it is made by his team. Okay, and he is a very good friend of Bill Gates. So today I want to tell you the three stories from my life. Okay, the Steve Jobs is saying, I want to tell you the three stories from my life. Just three stories. Okay, the first story is about connecting the dots. Okay, first story is about connecting the dots. Okay, connecting the dots is the first story of him. I drop out of Reed Reed College after the first first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop in for another 18 months before I really quit. Okay, so specifically he drop out. So Steve Jobs is saying he drop out from his college for 6 months. Like he stopped going college, and after that again he and after the 6 months he sat at home, and he again started to visit the college next 18 months, and 18 months before I really quit. And looking back, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. So Steve Jobs is saying that like whatever decision he had made, it is one of the best decision. He quit the college. Okay, and I could stop taking the required classes that I didn't interest me. So he's saying that Steve Jobs is saying that I I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that look interesting. So specifically, he stopped the required classes what he didn't interest. So that's why he dropped out from the college, because there is no interesting. So that's why he dropped the college, because Steve Jobs don't like that classes what he not interested. So he dropped the college classes. He actually dropped in those classes what he liked, what he looked interesting. So I didn't have a dormitory room, so I slept on the floors in friend's room. So Steve Jobs is saying like he didn't have a dormitory rooms at that time, so he slept in his friend's home and on the floor. I returned coke bottles for the 5 cent deposit to buy food with, like a coin 100 of the US dollar. So specifically, he returned the coke bottles deposit, like he returned the coke bottles of 5 cent deposit to buy a food with, and I would walk 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at a Hare Krishna temple, right? So specifically, his situation was not. Steve Jobs is saying that his situation was not good at that time. He is returning the coke bottles to get the food, and every Sunday he is going Hare Krishna temple for a good meal. Okay, good meal, and I love it, and he love it, and much of what I stumble into by following my curiosity and intuition turn out the priceless later on. And after that, like whatever curiosity and whatever intuition he later on he realizes. Here one example: Reed College offered the perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country, because I had take a calligraphy class and I learned about serif and sans serif typeface, about what makes great typography great. So specifically he's saying that the Reed College also offer the, sometimes offer the calligraphy instruction in the country, calligraphy, and he had taken the class of the calligraphy and he learned the serif and serif typeface. So 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer Macintosh computer, it all came back to me and we designed it all into the Mac. And if I had never dropped on that course in the the Mac the Mac would never had a multiple typeface, or for that matter every proportionality space font. So specifically Steve Jobs is saying that he has taken the class of the calligraphy, so that's why he had made a different typeface of his Macintosh, right? And proportionally and space fonts. And since Windows just copied Mac, and since the Windows just copied Macs, it's likely no personal computer would have them. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward. Impossible to connect the dots. Associated one India to find a creator, connect the dots for the forward. When I was in college, but it was very clear looking backward 10 years later. So, when he was in college. So, but it was very clear looking backward 10 years later. So you can't connect the dots looking forward, and you can only connect them looking backwards. So first of all, whatever you are inventing, whatever you are creating, you cannot connect it properly until you have looked them backwards. So you have to trust that dots will someone connect in your future, and you have to trust in something, your courage and determination, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the differences in my life. Okay, all the differences in my life. So first, connecting the story, the Steve Jobs is explaining that, you cannot you cannot, you have to trust someone so they can connect for you, and in the future they can also connect for you, right? I'm going to stop over here.